Gangsters, guns, and high-octane action. There's nothing like a thrilling escape into the dangerous world of notorious drug lords and outlaws. Welcome back, everyone, to WatchSandy. We're diving into the world of crime with the top 10 best gangster movies on Netflix right now. One thing I want to clarify before starting the video is that I have not included classic movies like The Godfather, Reservoir Dogs, Heat, and Scarface. As fans of gangster movies, I trust you've already seen these masterpieces. If not, I highly recommend watching them, and you can find all of them on Netflix. So let's jump right into the countdown. First up on our list, we've got a movie that checks all the boxes for a classic gangster flick. We're talking double-crossing, ethical dilemmas, and a high-stakes prison break. The movie in the spotlight is The Informer. It's about Pete Kozlow, who was once a criminal but now works undercover for the FBI to bring down a Polish drug cartel. But as you might expect, things don't go as smoothly as planned. It comes with high-tension sequences and plenty of bloodshed within the prison walls. In short, The Informer is the go-to film for anyone who loves a good gangster story that keeps you on your toes. Moving on, let's take a trip to Korea with our next pick, The Drug King. Based on a jaw-dropping true story, this film chronicles the life of drug smuggler Lee Do-sam, a guy who went from a small-time narcotics dealer to Korea's most notorious drug lord in the 1970s, kind of like Walter White from Breaking Bad. The film is a roller coaster, including big fancy parties, lots of money, and the inevitable danger that comes with such a high-stakes game. It's a film that may resonate more with die-hard fans of gangster movies. And now for something a bit different but equally compelling, let's talk about a Japanese film, Yakuza and the Family. It's not just about gang wars and bloodshed, but offers a realistic look at the declining status of gangsters. For those who don't know, Yakuza is a Japanese term for gangsters. This film starts off with the expected themes of violence and vengeance, but then takes a turn to explore the impact of anti-gangster laws introduced in the 2010s. It's a gripping portrayal of the Yakuza's fading glory and the harsh realities they face, providing a unique perspective on the gangster life. My next pick is like a puzzle box wrapped in barbed wire. Yes, it's as intriguing as it sounds. We're venturing into Gun City, set in the heart of 1921 Barcelona. This movie unfolds a captivating tale of a war veteran who moves from Madrid to Barcelona to assist the police in cracking a perplexing case of a stolen shipment of military weapons. What eventually unfolds is a complex web of cops, gangsters, and anarchists, all tangled up in a messy fight for power. The narrative might feel like a maze, with so many characters and intricate side plots. However, if you're patient, you might find it to be a rewarding watch. Moving on to a completely different vibe, my next pick is a revenge story filled with lots of humor. Starring Scott Adkins, Avengement takes you through the transformation of a man hardened by the brutal realities of prison life into one seeking justice against those who've wronged him, including his own brother. Let me tell you, the action in this movie is top-notch. The fight scenes are absolutely brutal, showcasing Adkins' impressive martial arts skills. But what I love about this movie is that it's not all about the action. There's a layer of emotional depth to the story that really enhances the experience, blending intense action with genuinely funny moments. Next on our list is The Outsider, featuring Jared Leto. Set in the gritty, post-World War II landscape of Japan, this movie plunges us into the life of an ex-US Marine captain who finds himself entangled in the dangerous world of the Yakuza. Well, it starts off on the slower side, but if you stick with it, you'll be treated to some intensely gruesome moments. What really grabbed my attention was the film's deep dive into Yakuza traditions, including the shocking ritual of cutting off fingers. It's a film that may not sit well with everyone, but for those intrigued by the darker, more visceral aspects of crime stories, this might just hit the mark. Next up is a film that takes a unique turn from the classic cops and robbers tale by focusing on the guys trying to catch the criminals instead of glamorizing the outlaws. The Highwaymen is a fascinating film that centers around the true story of former Texas Rangers who were tasked with tracking down the infamous criminal duo Bonnie and Clyde. This movie is less about the high-speed chases and gunfights and more about the gritty, determined grind of two old-school lawmen using their wits and experience to track down the celebrity-status criminals. It's like watching your grandpas outsmarting the bad guys, showing that old age and cunning can trump youthful recklessness. Coming up next is quite an interesting movie called Ferry. It's a prequel to the Netflix series Undercover, offering an origin story for the formidable drug lord Ferry Bauman. The film dives deep into Ferry's past, exploring the events that shaped him into the feared criminal mastermind. The movie does a great job of balancing brutal violence with deep character exploration, something that most violent gangster movies rarely do. While the script may follow a predictable path, the strong performances and dynamic direction ensure that Ferry stands on its own as an enjoyable watch, even for those unfamiliar with the Undercover series. My next pick is like watching a masterclass in how to climb the ladder in the crime world. American Gangster tells the story of Frank Lucas, a guy who goes from being the right-hand man to a crime boss to building his own empire. Denzel Washington plays Frank Lucas, a heroin dealer who corners the New York drug trade by an ingenious method of smuggling heroin into the United States using the coffins of deceased servicemen from the Vietnam War. We also have Russell Crowe playing Richie Roberts, a dedicated detective tasked with bringing Lucas down. The film doesn't shy away from showcasing the brutality and violence associated with drug trafficking, as well as the profound impact of addiction on individuals and communities. On top of our list, I have a movie with a runtime of 209 minutes, making it Martin Scorsese's longest film. Robert De Niro, Al Pacino, and Joe Pesci lead this powerhouse of a movie, bringing to life the story of a World War II combat veteran who became a mafia hitman and then a union leader. The movie stretches across decades, showing not just the glitz and grit of mob life, but also the personal costs it demands. The movie is notable for its use of de-aging technology to allow its lead actors to play their characters at various stages of their lives. The Irishman is a masterclass in storytelling, with performances that pull you in and make you forget you're watching actors. So these are the 10 best gangster movies that you can enjoy on Netflix. I hope you enjoyed this video and found some new movies to watch.